Man may not be on the top of his form, but he can still make himself useful.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this awesome YouTube video about a really cool product that I have been blessed with being able to review for you today. First, let's get a little housekeeping or a little bit of info out of the way. The wheel I'm about to review has been sent to me by Moza Racing free of charge. They sent this wheel so that I can review, give you feedback, and give them feedback on what I think. Nothing that I say has been told to me by them. I have my own opinion, my own viewpoints, and my own point of view on the product that I'm about to review. So in no way, shape, or form did Moza Racing dictate to me what I had to say in order to review their product. They just want an honest opinion, and I feel like many, I am capable of doing just that. With that being said, let's get started. Here is the Moza CS wheel. This wheel is absolutely awesome. Yes, it does have some drawbacks, and we'll go over those, but the wheel will do everything that you want it to do, and then some. First and foremost, this is a heavy wheel. For those of you out there, you may have watched my first video where I was reviewing the Moza R9 and CSL-DD. I had the McLaren V2 wheel with this wonderful Moza GS wheel that I have here. I absolutely love this wheel. It is, well, my favorite. It is the reason why I switched from Fanatec to Moza Racing. I did so at a time pretty early on when not many reviews were out. To be honest, I think I saw Simpit's video on the Moza R9 and it really just sold me. Once I saw the GS wheel and I'd been using that McLaren V2 wheel, which is a really great wheel, especially when you consider it's only $199. Now, for $199, there's a difference between this wheel and that wheel, and I did so in the video before, and I'll make sure to put that video and link it here. With that being said, this compares very easily to the Fanatec RS wheel that I did have. Now, I got rid of that wheel well before I did that review because I initially, again, had started out with a CSL Elite, moved up to a CSW 2.5, then the CSL-DD, which took months to receive, and then decided, you know what, I want a better formula wheel. I do not want a V2.5, simply because that wheel is a little bit smaller in diameter, and I wanted something at least 300 millimeters, so I went with Moza. But this wheel, just as good as that RS wheel, with a few caveats of things that they have on that wheel that they don't have on here, but I think there are more than enough things that are on this wheel that make this a very, very good choice. So first, what we're going to do is take a few laps around the Watkins Glen in a Formula 3 vehicle because I use open wheel. This wheel can be used for drifting. It can be used for any type of open wheel car, GT3, anything you can throw at it. It is 13 inches or 330 millimeters from one end to the other. It's got some wonderful clickable buttons here. In fact, it's got 6. It's got 2 rotary encoders. It's also got some analog sticks here so that you can move them around to use for things like your black box or using to move the camera field of view, or many different options that you may use for your racing. Now, one of the things that I think, just to point out just real quick, they put labels on all of these, and I'll put it closer to the camera so you can see. Brake bias, traction control, reverse, camera, glance, and menu, as well as flash and pit. Now granted, you may use this wheel to map those buttons exactly how they stayed on the wheel and be fine with using them that way. The problem with that is for all of us that don't and decide we want to use something else, well, that's going to limit what you can and cannot do if you want to label them differently. Now, they did include some stickers in the box, and I'll pull those up here for you to see. As you can see, it'd be probably nice if I turn them the right side up. Yeah. So they have all of the labels that you could think of using and putting on the wheel. Now, I'll be honest with you, I never put stickers on. I can't remember the last time I put a sticker on. I did put it on the McLaren wheel, but that was it. And realized that I don't ever look at the wheel. So as nice as it was to have the stickers on the wheel, once I map a button, it stays that button, and that's pretty much what it becomes. So putting stickers on the wheel for some is awesome. For others, no. I have the Moza GS wheel. I do not put any stickers on it. I like the way the wheel looks. Of course, some of the buttons I use, like box and pit limiter, to do just that. But there are other buttons I don't use to do anything that is mapped to according to the wheel. So again, I do love the fact that they gave you these button options. But again, putting those labels on the buttons for me just doesn't make much sense. So yeah, hopefully they'll change that in the future. But again, I think it looks incredibly awesome. Aluminum housing, fully aluminum wheel. You've got your magnetic shifters on the back. Listen to that click. I think that is absolutely awesome. I love it. Of course, if you're in a household where you're in a room that's close by, sleeping people or babies or whatever the case may be, that may be a little loud. They do include rubber pads so that if you do want to dampen that sound, you can do so. In addition to that, these leather grips are really nice. I'll be honest, I wish they had leather grips for the Moza GS wheel, because I do like these quite a bit. This is done really well. The stitching and everything is in place. It looks well. Like I said, a very sturdy wheel. Best quick release out there. I mean, let's be honest, it's the NRG style quick release. Anybody who has a Fanatec wheel and you're using the QR1, you know that quick release can be a pain in the neck. They are coming out with the QR2, so I'm curious to see what that's going to look like, but I can't tell you what I feel about it because it's not out yet. So and I doubt they're going to send me one, and being that I don't have any Fanatec gear, that does become a bit of a problem. But for those of you that do get it eventually, I am looking forward to seeing how that operates. But again, love this wheel. So let's get this on the rig, take it for a few laps, and let's get some impressions. So let's get on the race. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and put the Moza CS wheel onto my wheelbase on the rig. I wanted to show you how we take off the Moza GS wheel, and again, they're both just as simple, but you know what, I always think it's cool to pop wheels off and pop them on. So we're going to take off this wonderful GS wheel. There you go, look at that, super simple. We're going to take this Moza CS wheel, we're going to pop it on, align it to the wonderful wheelbase, and we're going to take it for a few laps. So let's get out there and go. Let's turn her on. Already I can tell you, just holding on to the wheel, I really do like it. I mean, it is absolutely awesome. I just wish they would put these grips on the Moza GS wheel. Yeah, I think it would be really cool. So let's get out here and turn some laps, see how she runs, see how we like it, and give you some feedback.
Pit lane speed limit is 40 miles per hour.
Now these shifters do feel great. Now they are forged carbon fiber. So you're getting some really good shifters here. Again, 330 millimeter diameter or 13 inches according to Moza Racing. I'm able to get the feedback that I want. Again, I love the Moza R9. That's a whole nother story and a whole nother review. If you want my impressions of it, just go ahead and again look at the first video I ever made. However, I did not make a thorough video as much as I should because I don't think that video did it justice. But again, with that being said, this Moza CS wheel is absolutely amazing. It feels great in hand. It is the perfect size for, again, anybody who wants to have one universal wheel. As we know, Moza is in direct competition with companies like Fanatec. In fact, on the box for the wheel, it says the Moza Racing ecosystem. They are trying to establish themselves as an option so that, you know what, maybe you don't want Fanatec gear. Maybe you want to get something different. Or maybe you just want, you know, competition, which, as we know, competition is good in any industry because it forces people to innovate. You know, look at the likes of companies like Apple and Google, Samsung, who makes phones, and, you know, all of these competitors trying to get into the mobile space. That's a whole nother discussion, but, you know, you want competition. And Moza jumping into the sim racing scene with such great products, to me, just makes so much sense for those of us who want to have options. You know, you want to be able to go out there and say, you know what, maybe I don't want to spend my hard-earned money on something, and maybe I want an option. Maybe I want to compare, you know, two things that I like, and this Moza CS wheel is every bit as good as that RS wheel Club Sport from Fanatec. You know, for $280, you're getting a really well-built wheel. I mean, everybody's done bend tests to see. I like to do real-world tests because, you know, I don't know anybody who's yanking the wheel back this way or yanking it another way. So, you know, I don't know how functional that test is and what it actually shows you. Obviously, if I yank on the wheel hard enough, you're going to get flex. But, you know, you're watching me drive and you're looking to see, okay, how does it handle? How does it turn? Are you able to get the feedback out of it that you want? Is it worth, you know, spending $280 and getting a wheel that I can use for, as you see, open wheel cars? Can I use this wheel for other games? Can I use this wheel and, you know, pop it into Assetto Corsa Competizione? Absolutely you can. And I think you'd be doing yourself a favor by looking at this wheel and adding it to your repertoire, so to say. I now have this wheel and the GS wheel, and they are both going to get their fair share of use because this feels great in hand. And I'm going to tell you, Moza Racing, I hope that you guys put these out, this wheel, the leather for the GS wheel. I think for a person like myself who loves just holding onto the wheel without gloves, this would be cool. Now, I always hold my wheel with my thumb right here. I will say the stitching is a little rough right there, just at first use. It is something that I can feel. If I'm racing for long distances, I don't think it's going to be, you know, something that I can't get past quite easily, but you will notice it. The stitching right here, if you put your thumbs here like I do, you will notice. Now, if you hold the wheel differently, then you may not notice anything. And again, if you wear gloves, you won't notice a thing. But I wanted to try this wheel without gloves because, you know, we have, you know, probably more people who don't use gloves than do. And again, I only use gloves because I use the Alcantara grips on the Moza GS wheel. With that being said, looking at this wheel, it looks pretty. The LED rev limiter lights look awesome. Obviously, if you again watch any of my earlier videos, you'll see that in the Moza Pit House software you can go ahead and make a change to the LED and how it looks, what colors illuminate on it, whether it flashes at you in single solid colors or it's like a rainbow where you'll see it go from green to red to blue to, you know, whatever colors you want to update it and change it to. But ultimately, I mean, this wheel is great to use. Obviously, I'm not churning out my fastest laps here, but, you know, I am able to use this quite easily. Only thing I wish I would have mapped to this, to be honest, using these buttons, was something to, you know, change the visor. But, you know, which I think I actually just did. So I mapped this software to my GS wheel instead of, you know, the CS wheel. So but yeah, this wheel is every bit worth the money. I would tell you, if you're looking for a universal wheel and you're looking to get your Moza set up, maybe you don't have $499 to start to buy the GS wheel. Maybe you're saying, you know what, I want to jump into the Moza ecosystem. They've got a 9 Newton meter wheelbase in the R9. I'd like to spend close to what it would cost me to get a Fanatec setup. Well, here you go. I mean, between the R9 wheelbase, these now CS wheel, they do make pedals that are, from what I hear, pretty well. I have not reviewed those or owned those, so I cannot tell you specifically how those operate. But I can tell you that a Moza R9 and a CS wheel is definitely worth your hard-earned money. If you're up in the air between Fanatec and Moza, I would definitely say, because I've had both. I've had the CSLDD, I've had the Moza R9. When you add things like the quick release, just the stability of the shaft that it's attached to, you add in all those other features that come, I would definitely lean towards Moza. I've been happy with my Moza R9, and this CS wheel will get so much more use. Now, it would be nice again to have a digital display on here somewhere that told you some sort of feedback, whether it told you RPMs, whether it told you what gear you were in, how fast you were driving, or allowed you to change some of the quick tune settings while you're using the wheel. That would be nice. Now, as anybody who's used the Pit House software knows, you actually can run the Moza Pit House software from your phone. And for many people I know, they keep their phone right next to them. They have it attached to the rig. So, you know, they have it on the desk. You can just pull up that Moza Pit House software, pull it up on an app, and make any changes that you so choose. So again, that is definitely something that you can do. So let's go ahead and get out of here and take a final look at the wheel and see how it all stacks up, and, you know, have some final comments on the wheel. Alright, let's get out of here and jump in. So, now that we've run a few laps, let's get the wheel off the wheelbase. Look at that, wonderful quick release. Let's get our final impressions of what we think about this wheel. Again, the leather around the steering wheel feels amazing. Again, wish they'd put this on the GS wheel. I think they're going to come out with a more updated GS wheel with some even better options, so that may be part of it. But I do know the grips on the GS wheel can come off, and hopefully they take this leather and put it on there, because it feels absolutely amazing in the hand. And again, I totally recommend it. Again, the buttons feel great. The detents on the traction control and brake bias or the rotary encoders feel amazing. In the software, of course, you can map this to whatever you want. You can also change the settings of it. You've got these 6 mappable buttons here, as well as the 2 analogs that can be used for anything in the menus, and again, your black box in Forza, or not Forza, in iRacing, or even in Forza. I mean, I did use it in Forza to drive around and to map some of the camera views to it. So I will say this is a great wheel. I do wish they wouldn't put the labels around it, because again, the labels, I would just make it without it, because that makes it so that you, if you want to put a sticker on it, cool. Or they could have put something around it and didn't label it with a name. You could have had the white circles like you do here, and didn't have pit, glance, menu, flash, camera, reverse, traction control, or brake bias. I wouldn't put the names around it, because for me, I won't use them necessarily as such. I might put brake bias over here and not ever run traction control, because I don't race traction control. Additionally, I wish there was an LED so you can make some changes to some of the settings, right? Instead of having to go into the Moza software on your phone or on the app. I mean, again, having it on your phone and mounting it to your rig, or putting it somewhere in arm's distance, mapping it, putting it on an iPad. Again, awesome. Awesome. I think that is really cool. But having the option here so I don't have to look away, it's just right here on the wheel, I think that would be a worthy upgrade. With that being said, I really have no other gripes with this wheel. This is amazing. If you are in the market and you are looking at Moza, this wheel is amazing. You can drift, you can run GT3, you saw me run open wheel. There's not a car you can't drive with this. It has a diameter so that, again, if you do truck sims or you do any other types of sims, this wheel can do those. I would just say, again, if you want the digital display here, it doesn't have it. If you want the buttons to not have something written on it, it does. Which, again, you can put stickers on it to cover it up. And to be honest, I don't think that's worthy of not getting this wheel. I would recommend this wheel to anybody. If you have Fanatec and you're on the fence and you're thinking, I want to try something different, Moza is coming out with some products that I have used. Again, I will have another product review coming up soon about a product that I ordered, and I can't wait to get it, but this one is amazing. I can't say enough about it. It's sturdy, it's firm, I don't feel any dampening when I turn it. Real world tests matter to me. Again, if I squeeze it and pulled it really hard while it's attached, yeah, it'll probably bend and move. But again, nothing that you would ever notice when racing. So to me, it makes sense to not do those tests, because how often are you ever going to do them when you're sim racing? You need to be able to put the wheel between your hands, sim race, get the feedback that you need out of it so that you can run as fast as possible. And this wheel will allow you to do so. Again, if you drift, I think it's excellent. I don't drift, but I think it would be awesome. And actually with this wheel, I'm going to try some drifting, because now that I have it and I can use it, why not? I mean, again, best quick release again on the market. They were smart by putting it on there. And think about it, when you look at other wheels, you don't have to worry about a QR1 or a QR2 or being and having something interchangeable. It's attached right at the beginning. They were smart enough to say, you know what, we're not going to reinvent the wheel, we're going to use the best that's on the market. Carbon fiber paddles, again, that can be adjusted. They can slide in and out. If you want to slide them over and move them in or move them out, you do have the ability to do such a thing. But again, look at that wheel. I think it's absolutely amazing. I think it's worth your money. I would say go out and get it. And actually, one thing you can do, if you click on the link below, the Moza link below, there is a wonderful coupon that I'm going to give you right now. If you spend $500 or more, you will get $50 off your next purchase. Of course, that is only available right now for the first 5 people that go ahead and use this link. And if you click on the link, all you're going to do is when you go to checkout in the coupon code, you're going to put halfway point. That is HALFWAYPOINT. Halfway point. You go ahead and put that down there and click on that link. You'll get $50 off if you spend $500 or more. So if you're looking to get a setup from Moza, there's $50 extra in your pocket. Yes, it will go ahead and send a little extra cash my way so that I could buy more Moza gear and post some more reviews. But again, if you decided you don't want to click that link and you just wanted to go and click on the link on the Moza website because you didn't want to share any with me, that is fine. Go ahead and use that link halfway point again so that you can go ahead and get that $50 off. It will only be for the next 5 people who are looking to purchase, so it's $50 off a $500 purchase or more. And again, add this wheel to your repertoire if you're not going to get the GS wheel. It's worthy, it's great, it feels great in hand, and it does everything you want it to do. So, if you have any feedback, any questions, any concerns, and you want to know more about this wheel or any of the other products that I have purchased with my own money outside of this wheel, you let me know and I will give you as much feedback as possible. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Give me feedback on if you'd like to see more, what you think I can do better, things you think I can possibly focus on, and we will move forward. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Thank you, have a good one, and I will check out and see you later. Bye-bye.